With everything happening in our world right now, I cannot imagine anything more exciting than giving you this, because with this new cosmological framework, both your life and the world have a real opportunity to become something luminously beautiful. And without it, our world grows increasingly violent and warlike, and our individual lives become more overwhelming and untenable. In fact, if you study the proliferation of modern diseases, mental illness, racism, addiction, hatred, rising authoritarianism, war, and other forms of self-destruction, which have multiplied from the Industrial Revolution onward, you will see both the clear absence and an urgent need for a working, universal theory of everything as a counterbalancing illuminator to modern existence and this dystopic blend of Black Mirror and the White Lotus modern life has become. Because here's the thing, physics doesn't generally address global sociopolitical issues like the atrocities in Sudan, the unspeakable supremacide in Gaza, and what has been happening in Yemen, in Tigray, the DRC, the DPRK, and that is obviously a gigantic problem. And it's also why I've spent a lifetime of work creating this model so that others could live it for free. Because the truth is a human right. Since I have learned to read, I have been obsessed with finding bodies of work that combined a joyful form of existentialism with a working cosmological model that could be integrated into everyday human behavior and could help evolve the human species. As it truly must be said, our relationship with reality is the single most important component of our entire lives. Now, I was looking for something which went beyond the life's work of the physicist David Bohm, which also connected elements of the ancient Dogon of Mali to the artist Hilma af Klint, to Mandelbrot's fractals and Fibonacci formations to color theory, to the music of the spheres, the E8 theory, the flower of life, looking at phase transitions in theoretical physics and connecting that to models of social change, to biophotons and human health, to the Blue Brain Project, to near-death experiences, to hip-hop, yantras, and neo-tantric art. Since hello, a theory of everything should be a theory of everything. Now, upon discovering the shocking fact that it was not just one or two, but many celebrated physicists of the 20th century and beyond who have used their universal knowledge and nascent understanding of consciousness not to help our world, but chose to instead quietly get paid large checks to build weapons and bombs and or become famous while their work was used to kill people. Suffice it to say, it was painfully obvious that something of this scope and magnitude just did not exist, and that it needed to exist for the sake of humanity. We needed a body of work that isn't just connecting a trope of physics and philosophy, but that was connecting physics with a world in active devolution and increasingly deranged forms of war. So a long time ago, I began tracing the outlines of this model and working to develop an ontological framework, meaning an understanding of reality and a way of being that anyone could understand, anyone anywhere in the world, to help them open the door to finally being fully human and all the way alive for the first time in history with global implications. And that is what the ZALA theory of everything is entirely about, connecting the universal cosmos and the self. Now, classical physics is typically an exceedingly left-brain dominant, which is a highly fragmented and myopic perceptual distortion itself. However, physics has already proven the observer and the observed are indeed intertwined and interconnected. And if you are only looking at the world through the brains of half of your brain, the left brain, well, to paraphrase William Blake, how one sees is what one is. And you will basically be stuck in a perpetual cul-de-sac, which, hey, it's an open secret that this is where physics has parked itself and remained for decades now. However, recently there's been a bunch of buzz about quantum mechanics, which sadly has twisted and disabused this elegant depth of physics into a shallow, solipsistic self-help concept, which has made even the glorious words, the universe, into an entitled tool for manifesting a new car. Nope. That right there, friends, is the disease and not the cure in our world. Also, it should be said, quantum computing, as incredible as it is, will be of zero use if we keep accelerating our current self-destructive trajectory. Therefore, the true sauce is in theoretical physics and plasma physics. Now, what is plasma, you're probably asking? Sincerely, it's bananas that hardly anyone teaches on the university level, on down or above. Hardly anyone talks about plasma physics, and I genuinely hope this new theory of everything changes that. So, what is plasma? Plasma is commonly understood as the fourth state of matter, after the states of a solid, a liquid, and a gas. But really, plasma is meant to be understood as the prima materia, or the first, the most fundamental state of matter. That's what plasma is. It is the underneath. As in everything we can see or touch, the entire Earth and all the planets beyond, all physical, tangible matter comprises only about, get this, only 5% of the total cosmos. And 99% of that visible matter is made of plasma. The sun is plasma, stars are plasma, lightning is plasma, auroras are plasma, and even fire, the hottest flames, are plasma. Plasma is the gorgeousness we see in space from the images of the Hubble telescope and swirling toroidal spirals and colors. And these magnetic fields are the underneath to the entire material world. It is essentially what holds us all. How heart-shatteringly exquisite is that? Now, Irving Langmuir coined the term plasma in 1928, almost 100 years ago, connecting the understanding of the life-bearing fluid of our own blood and lymph to the plasma currents flowing throughout our solar system and galaxy, which parallel the circulation of life in our body. Now, the rest of the 95% of the cosmos, this is really key. Science, shockingly, still knows very, very little about that other 95%, the unseen. And that is made up of, look at this little picture here, 27% dark matter and 68% dark energy. And that dark energy is responsible for the accelerated, ever-expanding nature of our entire universe. Which is rarely known about this is that our understanding of physics, it drives our entire worldview and our value systems. For instance, we think of materialists as the majority of society. These are the people who value wealth and status and appearances. And follow me here, because this is connected to physics. This is because our predominant model of physics has been about emphasizing matter, the seen, the visible. In the modern era, our entire society has become matterists. We value only what we can see or what we can touch. This is why our materialist culture, or our whole matterist culture, even defines how we see health and medicine, that the body is a thing to be fixed. So give it surgery, give it drugs. Or the model of mental illness is defined by neurosis. Diagnoses our minds as machines that break down. So give them pills. Except we're not cars, we're not machines. This materialist matterism perception even defines how we have perceived, collectively, death. Again, since the industrial material matter revolution, we believe that we are simply our bodies. So when we die, then we must disappear, right? No, this is also why people have become so terrified of death. But matterism as such is a deeply flawed model. It isn't the truth, and anything that isn't the truth will always breed fear. The truth about life and about reality is that all life is about the underneath, and it is time that we had a model of physics which substantiates that. Tune in for part 2 and part 3. Here it comes.